Sure, I've got a fun idea.
What's that?
Would you like to know what's in your future?
I mean, it could be interesting.
All right, we can pull someone in to read your future for you. I know just the person. And here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Uh, do not be afraid. We are just normal dragons.
I mean, speak for me, not yourself.
Okay. Would you like to do a tarot reading of my big friend over here?
What is it you wish to know?
Well, first, can we have your name? It's a bit rude to just pull someone in without introducing yourself and going, hey, do this for us.
Wait, is it rude to ask for someone's name before you offer your own name?
Fair enough, I'm sure.
I am Ephraim.
I am Adrienne.
Welcome.
This has been a clusterfuck of a meeting already. I apologize.
uh, I mean, not much different from most of our other meetings.
Honestly, you have a point there.
Pardon the question. Am I dreaming, or have I taken the wrong turn somewhere in the Never Never?
Don't worry, you should not have taken that left turn in Albuquerque. But yes, you are in fact dreaming. We've pulled you in through your dreamscape.
For anyone else, never do a left turn in Albuquerque. If you need to turn left, you turn right, right, and right. Never turn left.
He's right, you know.
Sure.
Welcome to the Delegation of Dreamers.
And good God, what a meeting it's been.
Would you like to have a seat and read our futures?
Once again, I do apologize for just dragging you in here and immediately asking that. But my friend here does have an interest in the future, and he's gotten me curious about mine.
Oh, it's fine.
I feel like this is the first time this has happened to you for some reason.
It's a bit different than how it usually happens, but I have experienced enough that this is not too odd.
How does it usually happen then if people don't pull you through your dreams? I mean, that would be the normal way, I'd say.
Well, to be fair, usually I have a stall or a table set up somewhere. However, I was kidnapped once.
Oh.
Not through my dreams, though.
You were kidnapped.
Sure, are we kidnapping people? Is this is this legal?
I'm gonna have to consult the books. But you were kidnapped.
Yes.
May I ask why or by who? What happened?
I'm still not sure of all of the details myself. The group seems to have gone to ground after I escaped. I'm hazarding a guess to say it was a cult of some kind that had found out about my particular abilities, and they wished to make use of me.
Your tarot card abilities?
That's what I typically use, yes.
Now, how come you in particular? Try to find there are other tarot card readers.
Yes, but very few can actually see what could come.
And what is to come?
All right. She'll set a deck of cards at the center of the table directly in front of her. All right, focus on the deck and concentrate on your wish to know what is to come.
All right.
She'll draw the top card. Okay, so this is the tower, which, in short, means that you should expect the unexpected. A massive change, destruction, chaos. Might mean the loss of a loved one, divorce. I'm not sure if you're married.
I truly am not.
You're dragons, so I'm not sure if you have to worry about any health concerns, or natural disasters, or job losses.
I mean, to be honest, with the two that I have around here, I wouldn't be surprised if I got an aneurysm.
It could be that.
I've been called a natural disaster before.
Whatever is to come, there will be no escaping it, and it will likely not be good.
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Well, I mean, if it's unescapable, do you really have to keep your eye out for it?
I can brace myself for it. Now, Can I ask, how come your powers are so much more accurate than others?
I had I guess it's commonly called a near death experience when I was younger. And during that time, it's difficult to explain. I was one with the universe. And since I woke from that experience, I have been able to. It's not quite seeing, it's more an impression, a feeling. And it's usually accurate. The sooner an event is happening, the clearer it becomes. The further out it's a lot of many things affect every single event, and any single action can change what will happen or what may happen.
So when it comes to like seeing the future, you're a bit nearsighted.
Yes. Though I do have dreams occasionally that, while sometimes puzzling, the universe likes her puzzles, her riddles.
He does indeed.
Those tend to be even more accurate to further events, though I cannot intentionally have one.
You can't intentionally have a vision to show you?
Not the dreams, no. I'm sort of always feeling, sensing, seeing the future, I suppose. Although I hate wording it that way. It comes with too much baggage.
Could you tell us of a time when your prediction of the future has come true?
That's hard to say. I don't often see specifics. Like this reading that I just did. I can tell you that something negative is going to happen, something that will affect you significantly. It will not be something small, but I cannot tell you what.
But can you tell me if it's my fault?
Knowing you, it probably is.
Just say no. Say it's not gonna be my fault.
Don't lie to him.
I cannot tell you with any certainty that it will not be your fault. It may simply be that what happens is due to it being built on unstable beginnings.
And did you always have these powers? Did you accumulate them over trials and tribulations?
I gained the future sight, I suppose you could call it, after I nearly died. My other abilities I have had since birth.
And how did you first learn about them?
They've always affected me, though I couldn't recognize them early on. Though after I ran away from home at 13, and cliche as it sounds, I traveled with a circus for a while. And the fortune teller there, as well as the owner of the circus, were in the know as well, and were able to tell me more about what I could do.
So it was like a mentor.
Yes, she actually also taught me tarot reading, and I can also read tea leaves.
Oh, okay. Would you like some tea, by the way? We've got some forgotten blends.
Sure.
I fucking love some.
Yes, that sounds fine. My other abilities, to put it in a word, I'm an empath.
Ah, I've been called something similar.
No, sociopath.
Ah, okay. Is that the same thing?
No.
Okay.
But do you travel and use these abilities? Do you travel with the circus or
Not any longer.
What happened?
so you've settled down?
No, I haven't done that either. Currently, currently I seek to rid the world of the plague that is the Wild Fae.
The wild fae?
Yes.
We better hide Rue.
And the butterfly nets.
We got a fae friend, but I wouldn't say he's wild, but he does roam free. We don't keep him on a leash or something. So it's kind of wild.
Although I should really get that electric fence installed for him.
Given that you have pulled me here through my dream, and I'm not aware of any. Well, I just might not be aware of any dragons in my world. I'm assuming that you do not reside on or near Earth.
I mean, I sleep on Earth.
I mean the planet Earth.
No, this is
Uh,
the realm of forgotten memories, a completely different place.
Your planet is named after dirt.
Hey, friend, behave. We're familiar with the planet, but we are not from that realm, no.
Then your friend Rue will have nothing to fear.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so you're just hunting down the Fae from the Earth realm,
The wild Fae, yes.
the Wild Fae. And how come? What happened to make you want to hunt them?
They killed someone I care about.
Someone close to you? I mean, well, obviously, but who did they kill?
Sorry, it's difficult to separate the memories. We were barely friends at the time. However, we should have been more, and would have been had he not been killed.
Oh,
Thanks to the interference of the Queen of the Winter Court, I have memories of a life that we had lived, would have lived. As I said, it's difficult to separate what actually happened from the dreams.
oh,
Hmm.
you saw another reality through a dream.
Yes.
That is what we would call dream walking. That is an impressive ability to have.
I have not been able to do it again, so I'm not sure if it's my ability or the interference of the Queen.
The Queen?
Yes, the Queen of the Winter Court.
Oh, okay.
One of the most powerful Fae in existence. She has every reason to be confident that she is the most powerful.
Hmm. Understood. Was she the one that killed the person that you cared about, or how did you come across her?
No, the particular individuals responsible for that are dead. As for the Queen, she has bestowed on me one of the mantles of the Winter Court. It's been called the Mantle of the Spiders. I don't particularly care for that. Spiders tend to get a bad rap. But that gives me, to put it simply, more power and more influence. Though it also does mean I am beholden to her and the rules of the Fae.
Hmm.
Is it a thick cloak?
It is a mantle of power, not an actual piece of cloth.
So
He has issues with turns of phrases. I apologize.
it doesn't warm you when you're in the winter court.
I don't feel cold as a normal person does.
Ah, okay. You're one of those with cold feet.
Hey, friend, put away the slippers.
Sorry.
You can use them, but I don't think our guest needs them.
Okay. Oh, here's the tea, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you seen kobolds before?
No.
Our little servant here is a kobold. I do think they live in Everworld. It's just that they're good at hiding.
I don't believe I've come across any.
Can you tell a bit about who you travel with?
Currently, it's just Sydney and I. He was a police officer back in Albany, and then he was a wielder of a Sword of the Cross. But Leanne, she recovered that recently, and so he is no longer a Knight of the Cross.
Are you guys simply traveling around to find Faye, or what's your overall objective in terms of your journey?
My objective is to rid the world of Wild Fae. I believe he stays with me in part. I'm not sure. I haven't. It started, I believe, as a means of making sure I don't completely lose myself. And a promise he made to Rowan.
Who's Rowan?
Rowan is the one the Wild Fae killed.
Hmm.
Ah, the one you should have had alive.
Yes, he actually saw the future much more clearly than I do. Unfortunately, that made him insufferable at times.
Oh, I can imagine. Just imagine if Ashura would blame me for doing stuff that I haven't done yet.
I blame you enough for stuff that you have done.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you've already blamed. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You don't have to insert a joke every 5 seconds, Ephraim. It's okay.
I do. My brain is forcing me to.
What was the first quest that you went on with this person?
Or how did you meet Sydney?
Oh yeah, how do you? Let's go with that. How did you meet Sydney?
Sydney helped me get my van out of impound a few years ago.
Your van?
Yes, when I was kidnapped in Albany, my van was left parked. I'm pretty sure it wasn't parked illegally, but it was parked for so long that it was towed and the tags expired and it was impounded. And Sydney worked with, well, was friends with Hugo and helped me get it out of impound.
And is that like a prison?
No, right, you're not from, okay.
How did you break out Van? And who is Van?
I think van is a type of vehicle.
Yes, yes, that is right. It is a vehicle.
Why would a vehicle go to prison?
Because the police are the police.
Ah. I thought you said Sydney was a police.
That's why he was able to get it out of impound. So, yes.
Ah, okay. Good to have friends with connections.
I didn't trust him for the longest time. I tend to not trust the police. Bad experiences.
Popo ain't got shit on me. What?
You don't have to make a joke. I'm sorry.
Sorry, brain tired. God damn it, he's using my words against me.
But what made you trust Sydney then?
Once I discovered that he physically could not tell a lie, that helped.
Is he cursed or just a very truthful person?
No, he's a changeling. So he's part fae and thus beholden to never tell a lie.
Oh, but is he wild?
No, he is of the Summer Court.
Because otherwise there would be a conflict of interest there.
Very much so.
And what was the first mission you went on with them? Or are they not a mission kind of person?
I don't know if I would consider anything we did mission
What about Quest?
or quests. There were more incidents that we were involved in.
Here to share.
Let's see. Do you want just with that I experienced or with the group as a whole? Because there was a couple others while I was in Albany.
I mean, I think we have enough time for both, if you're willing to share.
Well, before I met Sydney, and after I had made it out of the compound I was being kept at while I was kidnapped, there was a time one of the, I believe, Black Denarians showed up at Remedies and started attacking people. Matthew and one of the werewolf packs in the area. The werewolf pack fought them off while Matthew, who worked at Remedies with me, began empowering circles and protecting the people. I'm not entirely sure how that ended, as the constant empowering and breaking of the circles affected my empathy abilities, and I wound up in a coma after that.
Oh,
Coma.
Yes. I think it was 7 or 8 months, I believe. I don't remember precisely the dates. I know it was the winter of 2007 when I met Matthew. And I believe the summer of '08 when I woke up in the hospital. That might not mean much for you.
no.
Those are calendar years.
Oh, okay. Who is this Matthew?
Matthew was Hugo's apprentice at Remedies.
Oh, okay.
I wound up working with Hugo and Matthew. He let me put up a table in the front of his shop for my readings.
Ah, after you woke up from the coma.
Technically, the deal was put in place before the coma, and I worked there for, it was a couple weeks. Hugo had a manager for a while that worked for him. He made the deal with me while Hugo was AWOL.
What is a wall? I mean, he was a wall? Like a physical wall?
Apologies for the turn of phrase. AWOL is an acronym. It means nobody knew where he was and he left no notice. I believe I've heard later that he had been kidnapped. So after I woke up from the coma, I guess is when I met the others. I met Hugo and Sydney and Scarlett. Scarlett was a little weird.
Hmm.
She found out I could affect emotions and asked me to move in with her,
Okay.
to be a sort of emotional support empath. I declined.
Ashura, am I your emotional support? Is that why I'm here?
Your mental instability.
Everyone needs a little bit of chaos in their life.
But I can see why you would turn. I can see why you would turn that down. Being just emotional support can take its own toll.
It was a more literal meaning of the phrase because I'm able to manipulate the emotions of those around me. And she had or has anger issues the last I saw her. Anyway, the first incident, I suppose, there were a number of, I believe they were all college students that wound up in the hospital with strange wounds
Mm. Yeah, college can be a dangerous place.
and odd symptoms that didn't match anything mundane.
Okay.
I don't recall the details, I just remember the taint of magic. Something was suppressing their life. So, well, I don't recall all of the details. There was some, I guess, party that they were all at. We found where the party was taking place, or had taken place, and,
They didn't even invite you. How rude.
well, I wasn't in college.
Hmm.
It was a college party. But anyway, we found, I'm not sure if there was a weak point in the Never Never nearby, but a group of, I forget what Hugo called them, life vampires. They looked like snakes almost. Quite a bitch to fight.
Was that?
They're very
Bitey?
tough. And then when the mother showed up,
Oh,
that was the most ear-piercing scream? I'm not sure if scream is the right.
hell hath no fury like an angry mother.
I was almost eaten by mother.
How'd you get out of that?
I convinced her to throw me up. I didn't know that snakes had a gag reflex. Technically, she had like a wolf head, so I knew dogs had a gag reflex.
A snake with a wolf head?
Well, technically, she looked more like a Komodo dragon in the body, though a lot bigger.
I thought you said you haven't seen dragons before.
I think this is a different species.
Correct, it's a species of lizard. Very big lizard.
Aren't we species of lizard too?
To be honest, I don't know what you are half the time.
Rude. But this wolf spider snake, wolf dragon snake,
Life vampire.
life vampire snake,
Life vampire.
Yes, that's what.
spit you out?
Yes. I managed to trigger its gag reflex.
When you said you convinced them to throw you up, my first thought went to you were talking to them as being swallowed, going, "Excuse me, ma'am."
No, I triggered its gag reflex with my knife.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And did you end up killing them after that? Or did you have to run away?
I believe Sydney killed the mother, and it was quite easy to convince the others to return to the Never Never after that. I mean that literally. We didn't actually kill them all. Without the mother present, and after killing a couple of the other smaller ones, I was able to. I'm never sure how to describe it when I use my empathy abilities. But anyway, my abilities work on beasts as well as people. So I was able to convince them to flee.
Did you learn about your ability to connect with beasts at the same time? You learned about your ability to connect with people, or did one come before the other?
I learned specifically about them at the same time. I wasn't conscious of what I was doing before I met Madame Priya at the circus.
This Never Never, is that located in Albany?
It exists parallel to Earth. It's the spirit world. It exists alongside Earth, but is an, I guess, an alternate dimension?
Like wind and fire.
No, it's not really one thing.
Don't worry, he confuses me too at times.
And after this, the college thanked you for getting rid of the life vampire?
Oh no, they were unaware. The supernatural world is kept very separate from the mundane or mortal world.
Oh, okay.
That seems like a memorable quest, almost being eaten. Any other favorite quests you have?
Any other favorite time where you almost died?
I can't say I have a favorite time I've almost died.
I don't think many people would.
As for notable incidents, Sydney discovered he was a changeling and the red cap was his father. He rejected the red cap, though a troll became his surrogate adoptive. A troll took him under his wing, and thus he became part of the summer court instead of the winter court, like his father was. There was a time the warden dropped off 3 half-formed, half-fledgling vampires at Scarlet's home.
Why did he drop off vampires that... What? Why?
From what I recall, he didn't really explain much. I just remember getting the call from Scarlet saying, Blankoff dropped off these, I need help. She doesn't ask for help very often, it was quite surprising.
The equivalent of leaving a child on the doorstep of an orphanage.
Yes, pretty much. Sydney and I... Was Hugo there? Hugo might have been there. Came to help her, well, calm them down and explain things, because they were not in the know before. 2 of them took to it rather well. The woman did not. She caused a bit of a stir for a while, and we had to hunt her down. Did we wind up... I don't remember if we wound up killing her or not.
I find it kind of good to keep track of who I kill.
From you have several novels worth that.
So much has happened.
It's good to be able to cross people off the list of who's gonna come after you.
I mean, I know some elderly women that go through the yearbooks and just cross people off.
But the other 2 vampires, did Scarlet manage to raise them as good newly fledged vampires?
Well, they were already adults when they were bitten. Fledgling vampires. They were not full vampires. The way it was explained to me is they're not full vampires until they bite and drain someone to the point of death. Scarlet called herself a half vampire because that was her situation as well. She had not drained anyone fully, and so she was not a full vampire, though she had the strengths of one.
So she had all the benefits without the repercussions.
I believe so.
It's actually quite interesting.
Anyway, the 2 men, they didn't rebel like the woman did. I don't recall precisely what was done with them. I believe they were taught the... Oh, I'd have to ask Scarlet. I haven't spoken to her in a few years.
And were your empathic powers useful in like convincing them to not run away like the other one did?
To a point, the woman managed to get away because she took to being a vampire a lot quicker than the other 2 did. She was able actually to enthrall both Sydney and I.
Yeah, some people just like to suck.
Internet? No.
And not long after she escaped, a body came into the hospital that had been fed on by a red court vampire.
Oh.
Yeah, the woman, she had become a full vampire in the time that she had been away.
And I take it that's not a good thing.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Red court vampires exist, and they're part of the supernatural community, just like the Fae or dragons, whomever else. However, killing without regard and possibly exposing the supernatural world to the mundane is definitely not good.
Okay.
So your world tries to keep those 2 separate.
Yes, it's definitely for the better.
Is your empathy supernatural?
Yes, yes.
That might explain why I don't have any. But
Yes, well.
Oh my god, I'm with you. Have you had any other run-ins with vampires?
Oh, yes, there was... right. Valentine's Day. The restaurant that Matthew and I had gone to for Valentine's Day wound up being dosed with the venom of white court vampires, which has an aphrodisiac-like effect.
Okay.
Why would the vampires want people to make babies? To just supply more food, or
Or as a joke?
We never did find out precisely why, or who for that matter. A couple of them did try to keep Matthew and I from leaving the restaurant. I don't believe there were any pieces of them left after Matthew was done, and the wardens handled everything after that, once they finally showed up.
by then there were just so many babies?
That did have. I'm not sure if the consequence of that is related to the event. But after most of the babies were born, the wild fae attempted a culling in the area. They attempted multiple times to take the infant from the hospital. Nearly succeeded.
What stopped them?
Oh, we did. I did.
Why were they trying to cull? Were they trying to keep the human population down, or what was the...
I believe that was their reasoning, yes.
Hmm.
I didn't listen much to what he said. One of the she-lords showed up trying to make us back off
Oh, okay.
and stop interfering with the culling. Needless to say, we did not stop interfering, and that particular she-lord is long dead.
Well, that's a coincidence.
Were your empath abilities able to help you out in those situations?
Yes, in a way, I can dampen someone's anger or whatever emotion is leading the fight, whether that be anger or other passion of some kind. I can dampen that and cause a stumble. I might be able to make them hesitate with a sudden spike of lust.
You can make people horny?
I can make them think they are.
I mean, spike of love is a lot more professional, but yeah, it does sound like it. And how does this work? How do you do that? Is it just empath abilities, or is there something special?
I'm not sure. It's part of my being an empath. There's not many. It's difficult to explain because the abilities that I have as an empath walk a very fine line against one of the laws of magic. And thus, if there are more empaths, we keep our abilities very secret. Because should we be discovered and the council decides that we break that law, we are killed.
Hmm.
The law that is particularly of concern, well, there's a couple. The third law of magic is thou shalt not invade the mind of another. Um, my abilities tread very close to mind magic. Similarly, the fourth law forbids the binding of any being against its will.
Ah, okay. And that's a little bit what you can do.
Yes, so I have made sure to stay very clear of the White Council and the Wardens.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
Thank you for coming in and telling us about your story, and thank you for humoring my friend here.
Of course.
I do appreciate that. Maybe you can do a tarot card reading for me sometime of how long I got pub with him.
Ah,
It does seem like you are waking up, at least from what we can tell.
well, if you would like an answer to that, I do see a very long future for the two of you.
Yay.
Oh no.
Sorry.
I mean, thank you very much. Thank you for that. Hopefully we can call upon your services again. But until then, have a good awakening.
Apologies for the turn of phrase. AWOL is an acronym. It means. I'm not.
Out of character, I think it means away without official leave, or
Yeah, something. Yeah. I know it's something like that. Adrienne doesn't care.
Ephraim doesn't know.